Hey, what's going on YouTube? We're back with another Borderlands video, and today's topic will be Gaige versus Timothy. Who is the stronger summoner? So as you guys know, the format for these videos is to see how the strengths of two separate characters go head to head. We're going to be looking at Gaige, we're going to be looking at Timothy, but we're only going to be looking at what benefits their other, what they can summon to help in the form of Death Trap and Timothy's Digijax. So we're going to be looking into the abilities that revolve around their partners only. I cannot stress that enough. We're looking into who is the stronger summoner, not overall character, summoner. So we're going to be looking at skills with Gaige, like sharing is caring, make it sparkle, upshot robot, potent as a pony, and explosive clap, whereas Timothy has skills like leadership, best foot forward, hero pose, on my mark, and collaborate. So let's see how they stack up, starting with Gaige. So with Gaige, we will be seeing a lot from the Best Friends Forever skill tree, which should be obvious due to the tree's focus. The final skill in that tree is quite powerful as it copies Gaige's current shield to Death Trap, and when you use a shield with amp damage, Death Trap will actually benefit from this, which is a very nice touch. The cooler skill will bring back Gaige's ability to call upon Death Trap 30% faster, which is obviously very useful, and when it's coupled with Upshot Robot, you can have a Death Trap up for a long time. Now, Upshot Robot is awesome because it gives Death Trap and Gaige 4% extra melee damage for every single kill and increases Death Trap's duration by 5 seconds. Buck Up allows Death Trap to recharge a shield of an ally 30%, which can go a long way in keeping your shields up. So if you want to run a B shield, you know that the recharge rates take a while, and Death Trap can really help with that. You can see it in the footage for the video that I'm actually playing on screen. I'm running a B shield, he's bringing it back faster and keeping it up, which means I get to do a lot more damage faster and more frequently. So he can also certainly keep the shields up in a tough fight if you've got a big boss and you're just trying to keep a lot of shield up. Instead of running a B shield for damage, you're just running, some shield with a ton of health on it. He's going to help keep that going. And the higher the shield is, 30% is going to be a lot of that. So when you get to OP8 and you're running shields that have, 7 figures, that's 300,000 protection. Maybe it's not a lot once you're up in OP8, but that's how you got to think about it. That is a very good thing to have. Made of sterner stuff is always good because it allows Death Trap's melee to do 15% more damage, and it gives the pair a bonus 5% damage resistance. Now, if we move on to the middle skill tree with Little Big Trouble, we can see the skill The Stare, which gives Death Trap the laser beam ability, which can light enemies on fire. And we can see Make It Sparkle, which allows Gaige to actually shoot Death Trap with an elemental weapon, which gives his melee attacks extra elemental damage in the form of whatever you shot him with. So there's a lot of good stuff here to make Death Trap a monster. But let's move on to Timothy. So with Timothy, we see some similar approaches and skills with Best Foot Forward, which grants 2.5 seconds to the duration of the body doubles for every single kill. We see Bolster, which boosts each Jack's health by 30% and gives them an extra 10% DPS. So when you're fighting, those are pretty important for the longevity of the doubles. Not only does it keep them around for longer, it gives them more health and gives them more damage. Now, if you move on to my shield, obviously that does what the skill says by giving them a copy of Timothy's shield. If you go on to Take Their Freedom, this gives the Digijax 12.5% health for every kill. So now you have skills that are keeping them around longer, you have skills that are boosting their health, you have skills that are not only doing all of that, but upping their DPS, and then for every single kill, they're getting 12.5% health back. So that's a lot of stuff right there. Now, if we move on to Resolute, that gives the Digijax 35% bonus damage and 17% damage resistance upon taking damage for a few seconds. Now, these skills really just all benefit the Digijax for fighting, killing, and taking damage, which is awesome for keeping you up and in the fight. Then, of course, there's the promote the rank, which allows you to have a badass Digijack. And when you're lucky enough, you can have 2 of those guys fighting by your side, and they're nuts. You can plow through anything. And now that's a great skill to have for sure. If we move on to On My Mark, this allows your Digijacks to throw a copy of your grenade, and Jack's Cash grants a stack for every kill, which can be used to throw a grenade without losing one for your reserve ammo, which is really awesome. So if you're running a grenade like you can see in the footage here, I'm just throwing these bitches everywhere, and the more and more and more I kill, the more and more and more grenades I can throw. So for every 4 stacks, I can trade those in for a grenade without using one in the reserve, which is awesome. And then, of course, we move on to the question, who is a better summoner? I'm going to have to give it to Timothy here because it's really simple. It's 2 Digijacks versus 1 Death Trap. So honestly, how could Death Trap compete? But anyway, let's seriously talk about it. I still think the Digijacks are the stronger in this situation, and let's talk about why. So, jokes aside, the utility of Death Trap is very good with boosting shields and all of his attacks, but he is a bit more limited in his abilities, meaning Death Trap is fast, but he doesn't have the presence for ranged attacks where the Digijacks can utilize grenades, the shotgun wrist laser, they can kick at close range, and then of course, they have the decent chance to spawn 2 badass versions to fight for you, and that's pretty incredible because the badass version is a lot better. And you can also sacrifice one from dying in a fight for fight for your life, meaning if you go down and one of the jacks, boom, you say, all right, you're sacrificed, I'm back in the fight, let's keep doing this, and that's literally a lifesaver. So in Gaige's case, I think her strengths lie more in the Anarchy build and less in the Death Trap building, and that's the reason why Timothy is a stronger summoner, in my opinion. Go ahead and try to change it. That's why we do this sort of thing. That's why we have these, discussions, and then everybody can weigh in. I love Gaige. I love Death Trap. I really like the Timothy character, but as far as strengths go with summoning and focusing on what they can bring to the fight, I've got to give it to Timothy in this situation. Alright, so if you guys liked the video, go ahead and leave a like. If you got something to add, go ahead and drop a comment. And if you're into Borderlands, consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next one. Later.